Hello, and welcome to yet another episode of How I Spent the Apocalypse. I'm not gonna lie, today it is hotter than 2 sticks of shit.
Well, how hot is that, Selena?
Well, it's damn it, Lynn! It's really hot! Alright, so a lot of you probably are spending time here going, I can't do this, I can't do that, I don't have any money, I can't just work, I don't have the things that I need, the tools I need to do certain things. So today I'm going to teach you some simple, let's not even call them inexpensive, let's call them what they are. They're cheap. When you're broke, there's nothing wrong with being cheap. When you're broke, you're not being cheap, you're being smart.
There you go.
Right? Dumbasses spend money they don't fucking have. Okay. So the first act, you've seen some of my tanks, and you will eventually see all of them that I'm catching water off of. And yes, I have the resources. I have people that say, hey, I got a 300-gallon tank that I don't want. Come and haul it off. Shit like that, okay? Maybe you don't have that. So I'm going to show you. And you don't need the guttering. You don't need all that fancy stuff that you might have to spend money for it to catch water for your garden. If you look over here to my right, Len, damn it, Len! Over there. Okay. All right, so those are 5-gallon buckets. All of them came off one job or other where people threw away the paint buckets when they got done. So those are all free just for picking them up. And I just put them under the eaves. Now, when you're doing that...
So there's no guttering there?
There's no guttering. It comes right off the roof. It goes in the buckets. And as you can see, that's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25... That's 25 gallons of water. The 2 in the front, they're full already. So I've pulled them out of the way to make... And you'll find that any roof, I don't care who did it, but especially this one, because I've redone this one. But they have a low spot where you'll catch the most water. So you just kind of look for that. Now, the thing with doing that way is you don't want... What do you not want to do? You don't want to make mosquitoes. So as soon as you watch your buckets, you use them in your gardening, you use them for your container gardens or whatever you're doing. As soon as you see, not the little wiggly ones. If you see the little wiggly ones, you've got about 2 days before those are going to turn into mosquitoes. But once they're the little black round things running around, you got to dump it immediately. So dump it out, that kills the mosquitoes. You're not making mosquitoes, thank God. Okay, so we're going in the big shop. And I'm going to teach you several things that are things that would normally be thrown away and that people consider garbage, that you have around your house that you can use to make things or make repairs. Very simple things. Okay, one of the things that we use the most on the farm, which you might not have, because if you don't have a farm, you don't have it, is baling wire. Baling wire is fantastic. But if you know a farmer or a rancher that has cattle, you might go see if they have some baling wire that they would let you have. The other thing, also comes off bales, is baling twine. These are useful for any number of things. Quick 5-minute fix on a fence, building, putting up poles, putting whatever you're doing, you can use these all the time. I use them all the time. But, okay, so I don't have baling twine, I don't have baling wire. What do I have? Okay, so you don't have either one of those. I bet that all of you periodically throw away shoelaces. Okay, and you just throw them out with your tennis shoes. This is like anywhere from 30 to 40 inches of pure gold. It's much stronger than the baling twine. It's actually easier to use. So you can use this for all the applications you would use that for. So good for tying stuff up, fixing stuff temporarily, which we all do that, don't we? We fix something temporarily, 5 years later it's still tied up with baling twine. So there you go. So, and I don't have wire. Oh, I don't have baling wire. Okay, so this is a whole drawer. We talked about these when I did the lattice thing. So a whole drawer of the little tie things that used to come with garbage sacks and that come off of bread. And the ones I like the most are the ones that come off hose reels. So look at that. That is what? That is over a foot of wire coated in plastic that you can use. They come on the hose.
And they come on electronics too.
They come on electronics sometimes too. So there you go. Free wire to use for different projects. All right. So here we have a bunch of dryer sheets that I'm going to be using later. And I'm going to grab my trowel. Trowel usually used for cement, but you can use it for all kinds of things on the farm.
Now those dryer sheets have been used already, right?
Yes, they've already been used because you don't need new ones for what I'm going to do them for. The new ones work better, and if you get them cheap enough, that's fine, but you can use used ones. Okay, so this looks like just a big old pile of nasty-ass bottles and containers and oatmeal boxes. That's what it is, okay? So why am I storing all this shit? Okay, so many of these things, this, and I'm about to show you how to do it, I can make a feed scoop out of. This can be used for putting 7 dust or some other kind of dust in and dusting plants or animals. I usually use these to put my discarded batteries in, and then I put that into a cement block, which one of these days, several of you that have seen the Great Wall of Kibler have asked me to show a demonstration on that. That's going to have to come at some later date, but I will eventually do that. And I use a lot of these for molds for cement. So I'll actually use the oatmeal boxes. I use those for molds for cement quite a bit. They also have other uses and functions. You can store, of course, you can store anything in them you need. It's nice you can write what they are and stuff like that on top. Same with all those containers. Okay, so walk this way with, this bottle. Okay, so why do I have this stupid bottle? Okay, because you can use it, you can put I use a lot of drain oil for doing my posts and stuff. I can put drain oil in this, spray it around the base of a post that I don't want to rot. That'll keep it from rotting. I can use it with stuff, again, for the dogs or the goats or whatever. So, and here's what you have to do though. When hoarding this kind of shit, know what you will actually use and don't keep more of it. And know when it's time. Eventually there will come a point where it's time to burn all this shit because I have too much of it. So, as long as it's not in my way, the minute it gets in my way, I go through and get rid of it. Okay, so here's a whole stack of cardboard boxes, which if you're like us and you're ordering most of your shit offline, which you ought to be doing because it's safer right now, you're also winding up with a great big stack of cardboard boxes. Cardboard boxes are useful for so many applications. Let me just tell you a few. Okay, so if you've seen pictures of my garden, you might notice that I occasionally put cardboard down because I hate to weed, and it makes fantastic weed cloth. It'll actually rot into the soil, it builds the soil up, and it keeps the weeds from coming up. Okay, other things you can do with it. I have insulated entire houses with cardboard. Okay, not as good as what I'm about to show you, but it's pretty cool, and it helps heat and cool. The only reason it's not as good as the styrofoam is because of the bugs. So if you're going to use it in the walls, you want to kind of spray it before you use it. But at any rate, so it's good for that. Okay, let's say you have plasterboard walls, and there's holes all in them. And you don't have sheetrock, and you don't have mud, but you would like to not have the holes. You can actually patch the holes with the cardboard. You can take the cardboard, put some glue on it, put a little screw thing on it, pull it out, and get the hole, and then cut pieces to go in the hole till you make it even. And then you
so you're saying you put the cardboard behind?
Behind, you take a big piece, you fold it, you stick it into the hole, you unfold it, you have a little string in the middle and pull it out, then tie it to just a chopstick or a dowel or something across the hole, and that'll hold it in place until the glue dries. And when the glue dries, you can take pieces of cardboard and cut them to fit in the hole. And then if you're fortunate enough to be able to buy just a little thing of joint compound, you can just fill the cracks, paint over it, your hole is fixed.
Toothpaste works too.
And it's always good when your hole gets fixed and you didn't have to go to the doctor or get penicillin. So there you go. All right. So I'm going to use these later too to show you another cool thing you can do with trash. So this is a cardboard container. It's different than these. These are Styrofoam Egg Crates. This is pieces of Styrofoam from stuff that other people bought and threw away. Now, I sometimes use the pieces of Styrofoam. You'll see there's some over there by that's the stuff I make cement stuff out of. I sometimes use them to help me build molds for cement. But these, I'm saving for insulation for one of my buildings. They make fantastic, they're Styrofoam. They don't get bugs in them. and they make really good insulation. Are they fireproof? No, but neither is regular styrofoam insulation. So if you're going to use styrofoam insulation, you might as well use stuff that doesn't cost anything. All right, so this is an old vinegar bottle. Now you can use a Clorox bottle. It's not quite as good, but I'm going to tell you something, okay? See this? This is the kind of scoop you can buy at a feed store, right? Or a hardware store. It's a feed scoop, right? Costs about anywhere from $5 to $8. Not nearly as versatile, and I don't use them as much as the ones that I make, which I'm about to show you how to make. Very simple feed scoop. I also use them for, you'll see me at some point when I'm working with cement, you'll see I use them for cement. So, how hard is it to make a scoop? Take your scissor, poke it in, run down. Don't go over that line there. Curl it up. You're gonna go right along that line at the bottom. Okay, you're going to check it, see where you are. Okay, and then you just go up. Okay. Okay, then you're going to want to, oh, I got it even. Usually you have to even it out. I'm going to put more of a point on it because I like them better with a little bit of more point. But I got it even the first time, which never happens, so there you go. But yeah, so there you go. Feed scoop. Moving dirt scoop. Working with cement scoop. In fact, you can tell that I've used that one in cement because it's covered with cement.
So you could fill flower pots or containers or whatever with that, with moving dirt.
Damn it, Lynn, I already said that! Yes, you could. All right. So come in here for a second. I'm going to show you another thing, a couple of other things. Now, if Lynn will pan up, you'll see, I've talked to you about hose before. So that's a shelf I made specifically to hold hoses in pieces. That's a lot of hose. Do I need all that old hose? Probably not. But I have to tell you, I had a friend come about 2 months ago?
Yeah.
About 2 months ago. Well, no, it was before the apocalypse. At any rate, and he took an entire spool of that old hose to use because he didn't have anything else. So that works. Okay. And there's other things you can do with hose besides make it hose. In fact, I'm going to show you how to make a simple garden snake. Now what you have to remember is that rabbits and squirrels and birds, they don't necessarily look at stuff and go, oh, it doesn't have to look as much like a snake as you think. In fact, when you put these in your garden, occasionally they're going to scare the shit out of you. So I like to cut the end at an angle so it looks more shape-snaked. Snake-shaped! It's harder than 2 sticks of shit! Give me a break! Okay, so you're going to take and you're going to cut just some little V's out of the front there to make it look like a mouth. Easy to do. You can either use a cheap pair of scissors, which is what I'm using right now, or you can use an old razor knife. Don't cut yourself with the razor knife. I want to cut the end of my thumb off. Talk about that later. That'll be an R-rated version. But at any rate. Okay, so you just cut that up. Now it looks kind of like a mouth. Alright, so that was easy enough. Round that. Okay, so you round those top edges off a little bit. You probably get a better thing with a razor knife because it's like these cheap-ass scissors are leaving the fibers. Okay, not that the squirrels and shit. Okay, so then you're going to get an indelible marker and you're going to put some little nose holes. I don't know if these are necessary. I kind of think that just the hose would work, but I always do it anyway. So it'll scare the shit out of me. Okay, then you put some eye holes. Okay, and see, there you got a little plastic snake for your yard. You can also buy the cheap ones. I buy the cheap ones at Dollar Tree sometimes and use those, but these actually work just as good, if not better, and they don't make me shit myself as much as the little rubber snakes do. Because I forget the rubber snakes are out there and the plants will get big and I'll be down there weeding and it's like, ah! Yeah. I figure though if they scare me, they're bound to scare a rabbit. So there you go. Okay, one of my favorite things to use on the farm, total trash, is tin can lids. And as you can see, I keep my tin can lids in an old Gatorade thing. So tin can lids. Now, the ones that pull topped, they're not as good as the old-timey ones, but you can still use them. Okay, and like I said, don't keep more than you know you're going to use. I will usually fill up 3 of these and then stop saving them. Okay, so what can you do for can lid? Okay, let's say we'll use this piece of goat shit and pretend like it's a knothole that goes all the way through that mice have been going. Okay, put that over that, screw or nail that down, no mice. Okay. You can make simple brackets for building with. You'll probably, when we finally do the pole bar, you'll probably see me use about at least those 3 boxes full of these. Okay, so let's say you want to join a joist or a sideboard. You fold it in half. Screws here, screws here. These are mostly the little ones because I've used up the big ones. The big ones work better for this. But then you can just take them and see, you can make a bracket joist right like that. See?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, joist bracket. Okay. The other one is you take just regular cheap-ass tin snips, snip it down half the way, make a fold.
Let me see that. Okay, I see it. Yeah.
Okay. And now you can take that and you can use it to fasten a joist in place.
Oh my goodness.
Okay? Okay, so that's what I use those for. Okay. So, let's see. Now we're going to go outside. I'm going to go outside. I'm going to show you. Well, no, we're going to go to the back first. I was wrong! Okay, come back this way, Lynn.
Put it on the calendar.
Okay. Are you being a smartass?
No!
Damn it, Lynn! Okay. Okay, so you can go to the store and you can buy these fly traps. They have tops like these and like this part, the center part, and they're in plastic bags. The traps cost between $5 and $9 a piece. They work really well. They come with a little scent thing that you put in the bottom. Well, I read the ingredients on the scent thing and found out it was basically rotten eggs. So, when the bag ran out, and you'll notice these are not clean because it doesn't matter, because when I tell you what I'm doing with them, you'll go, yeah, there's no sense in cleaning them. Okay, so what I did was I took the plastic bags off full of dead flies, threw them away, and I got these actually parrot food came in these. And so I got these. I took the lids, I drilled a hole, a round hole in them, stuck that through, siliconed it. Now they work over and over again. And the way you set them is you get a couple of eggs and just bust them in there. Okay? As those eggs rot, they attract every fly for miles. These bottles will literally get half full of flies.
Oh my goodness.
When they get half full of flies, I dump them out to the chickens. So there you go. Or I put them in the compost too. I put them in the compost and then the chickens eat what they want. Let's put it that way. And then I reset them. They work for a long time. I've been using, okay, so these little, I paid $9 for them initially, bag fly traps. This is now the 5th year I'm using them. And I've changed the bottom bottle like maybe twice. Okay, so now we're going to the chicken yard. Okay, watch out, there's a slick spot right there, Lynn, where it rained.
Okay.
Okay, so now we've got them. We want to put them in places where it's going to attract the flies. The flies like sun, so put it in here. And what we have to do is we have to tie it to the fence. Because if we don't tie it to the fence with, what is that? Oh,
Baling wire.
One of those hose things.
Oh, is it a hose thing?
Yeah,
Okay,
it's a hose
okay, it's a hose wrap.
It's a hose thing. Okay, so we're going to attach it to the fence.
And why do you have to attach it to the fence?
Because animals are assholes. I thought we already talked about that earlier. These chickens will knock that son of a bitch over and have just the nastiest, slushiest pile of crap you ever saw all over the chicken yard otherwise. This way, they can't knock it over. So you definitely want to do that. Okay, so I think this one is just like, I think that's like off a kid's toy. So, and it doesn't matter because all you have to do is tie it to the fence so the chickens don't knock it over. Now in 2 or 3 days, when those eggs rot, that'll start filling with flies.
Could you hang them too, or?
You could hang them, but then they'll get weak and break.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, that's how many flies they get in them. They get heavy.
Okay.
Okay, so what did I want the old dryer sheets for? If you've never dealt with buffalo gnats with your chickens, you're lucky. Buffalo gnats will come in and they'll kill everything you have. They bite them around their nose holes, and then they can't breathe and they suffocate. So, what are these for? Because these make them not be able to smell the chickens as much. So you just put a couple in the cage, and I just push them through the wires on the cage. It'll also keep them off the rabbits, although they've never messed with the rabbits. I once lost an entire cage full of chicks. And so I have chicks here. I'm just gonna stick it in the wire, and that will keep them away a little bit. But I also do other fun stuff to get rid of them, which is I burn my trash out here. I burn the trash because the smoke helps keep them away. I'm just going to stick a couple of these in the chicken house.
Let me look in there.
Yeah, look in there. Okay, so I just stuck a couple in. Our new hens are hiding in here. Those are our new babies. I put them out a couple of days ago. I put them to roost in here so that I took them from the pen and put them to roost in here so that they'll go to roost in here. But they're kind of afraid of the outside world, so they've come out a couple of times, but then they mostly hide in there.
Okie dokie.
All right, so now what did I want these for? Well, I'm about to show you. Okay, so let's go over here in this shade. You want to go in the shade for a minute?
Sounds good to
I don't want
me.
to get you too hot. Not right now, I don't want to get you too hot. Okay, so these egg cartons. Okay, so the Amish do this thing where they go out into the fields and they gather up all the cow patties and they break them down, soak them, and then they fill that mixture. They fill these little molds that look like bunny rabbits and stuff with this mixture. You can buy them in feed stores and hardware stores and stuff like that. And they're little manure animals, basically. And what you do is you put them in your flower beds or in your gardens, and as it rains, it slowly releases the shit. Okay, they're very expensive, by the way. It's a lot of money for a statue made out of shit. But they are very useful because, again, you can put them on your plants. They slowly release the fertilizer instead of doing it. Okay, so why do I have the egg cartons? About to show you. It rained like a motherfucker last night. And now our normally makes nice little balls of shit and we pick it up for our garden under the rabbit cage is full of mucky, nasty, horrid shit, which, by the way, smells every bit as bad as you think it would. But I'm going to show you a little trick. So you take the egg cartons, find the wet shit. You can re-wet it, I guess, if you want to, but we don't have to because this happens when it rains. I take the egg cartons, I basically fill those holes with this shit. Nice, wet, nasty, gummy, smells horrible shit, right? Yay, rain. So we fill it up with some I was going to throw away anyway, right? Or used for eggs, which we get so many egg cartons that we don't need them all. Okay, so we fill it up like that. Lynn's like, God damn, that stinks. It's like, yeah, honey, it does. Okay, we fill it up like that. Then we go ahead and close it so that the flies and shit don't mess with it. And we're just going to stick it on top of the rabbitry. This area is good because there's a fan and so it kind of blows off. Okay, it will take a month to 6 weeks and they will dry up. And if they won't pop right out, sometimes they pop right out of the egg cartons. Sometimes they don't. It doesn't matter because you can just take the pieces of egg carton and stick them on the different plants you want. You just rip them apart and just stick them on the different plants you want. And that's how you make shit into bricks. So don't say I never taught you anything. Until next time, take care of yourself, take care of each other, don't be a douchebag. Goodbye.